Patriotic selection for you tonight. As usual, we will start with the Star Spangled Banner, so we ask for you to, if you can, to please stand. Come from the poem Defense of Fort McHenry, written in 1814 by Francis Scott Key after witnessing the bombardment of Fort McHenry by the British ships of the Royal Navy. The poem was set to the tune of a popular British song, To Anacreon in Heaven, sorry about that, with various lyrics, which was already popular in the United States. When it was set to Key's poem and renamed the Star Spangled Banner, it would soon become a well-known American patriotic song. Although the poem has 4 stanzas, only the first is commonly sung today. The banner was recognized for official use by the Navy in 1889 and by President Woodrow Wilson in 1916. It was made the national anthem by Congressional Resolution March 3rd of 1931, which was signed by President Hoover. Before 1931, other songs served as the hymns of American officialdom. Hail Columbia served this purpose at official functions for most of the 19th century. My Country 'Tis of Thee, whose melody is identical to God Save the Queen, the British national anthem, also served as a de facto anthem. Our next song will be Manhattan Beach March by John Philip Sousa. It was dedicated to the famous Manhattan Beach Summer Resort in New York in 1893, where Sousa became a popular figure. This march was derived from an earlier march Sousa had worked on that was probably entitled the Phoenix March. The Manhattan Beach March has become a staple of bands around the world. Please enjoy the Manhattan Beach March. is called Red River Valley, which is a folk song, or sometimes considered cowboy music, and it has controversial origins that has gone by many different names. For example, Cowboy Love Song, Bright Sherman Valley, the Bright Laurel Valley, In the Bright Mohawk Valley, and Bright Little Valley, depending on where it has been sung. Please enjoy this band setting of the familiar folk tune by the composer Pierre Laplante. It doesn't get much more Americana than a musical set in the 1950s with fast cars, greasers, and summer lovin'. In this medley, we hope, well, I'm sorry, I skipped a line. We will hear the songs We Go Together and Grease Lightning. Please enjoy music from Grease. Thank you. Our next selection, the Miss Liberty March, was composed in 1955 by renowned composer Carl King. King has composed over 300 works for band, including gallops, waltzes, overtures, serenades, rags, as well as 188 marches and screamers. Please enjoy King's popular Miss Liberty March. We're teaching the kids in the school about the history of music and things of that nature. When we get to the 18 and 1900s, it's sometimes a hard lesson for them to understand. What you just heard was popular music in the late 1800s. That's what they went to the park to hear, or the concert hall, the vaudeville theater, until ragtime came on at the very end of the 1800s, turn of century, and then turned into jazz. That was pop music. And then they also have a hard time understanding that the whole first half of the 1900s was jazz. It's like, well, what about rock and roll? Didn't happen until after that. So, sometimes it's hard to for them to comprehend that. And, that was only, that's a lot of math, 120 years ago. So, 130, we'll go there. 130 years ago, so, relatively short time ago. All right. This next one is a new one for us. We've never, ever played it. One of our members, David Ham, found it and brought it to us, and so we're glad to be able to play it this year. 4 Cohan songs. George Michael Cohan was an American entertainer, playwright, composer, lyricist, actor, singer, dancer, and theatrical producer. He was a busy guy. Cohan began his career as a child performing with his parents and sister in a vaudeville act known as the Four Cohans. Beginning with Little Johnny Jones in 1904, he wrote, composed, produced, and appeared in more than 36 Broadway musicals. Cohan wrote more than 50 shows and published more than 300 songs during his lifetime, including the standards Over There, Give My Regards to Broadway, The Yankee Doodle Boy, and You're a Grand Old Flag. Known in the decade before World War I as the man who owned Broadway, he is considered the father of American musical comedy. His life and music were depicted in the Oscar-winning film Yankee Doodle Dandy. Please enjoy this medley of Cohan tunes, including Give My Regards to Broadway, Yankee Doodle Dandy, Over There, and You're a Grand Old Flag. piece is called The Band in the Square on the 4th of July. This is a nice little march that we found at school a year or so ago. And you need to picture yourself as you're listening, like you're down on the square and the band's coming down the road. And you know it's far off and you can hear it coming. And it gets right next to you and it's probably too loud. And then it leaves and then you hear the murmurings of it going away. So that's kind of what this march depicts. We hope you enjoy The Band in the Square on the 4th of July. Next piece will be selections from The Music Man. It's hard to find a musical that has wider appeal and more captivating music than Meredith Willson's The Music Man. Whether your favorite version is the 1962 film version featuring Robert Preston and Shirley Jones, or the more recent 2003 production featuring Matthew Broderick and Kristen Chenoweth, we are sure that you will enjoy this medley, which features the tunes The Wells Fargo Wagon, Till There Was You, and 76 Trombones. you're ever in north central Iowa and have some time to kill, go to Mason City. Mason City is where Meredith Willson, the composer of The Music Man, is from, and he based the town River City from the musical on Mason City. And they have a little museum there, and they also have, it's like a musical instrument history museum there too. It's a really neat stop. It'd take you a half hour to go through there, nice little stop. So if you're ever like north of Des Moines, almost Minnesota, that's where Mason City's at. Make it a stop up there. All right, now we're gonna get to our really patriotic part of the concert. We're gonna start with America the Beautiful. The lyrics were written by Catherine Lee Bates, and the music was composed by church organist and choir master Samuel A. Ward. Bates originally wrote the words as a poem entitled Pike's Peak. First published on the 4th of July edition of the church periodical, The Congregationalist, in 1895, Ward's music combined with Bates' poem was first published in 1910, entitled America the Beautiful. Please enjoy James Swearingen's setting of America the Beautiful. Korean jet flying to Seoul from New York City, where 269 people, including 63 Americans, had lost their lives. Greenwood stated, "I saw the senseless strike as a personal attack against our countrymen, and it moved me to put pen to paper." The song came so easily it nearly wrote itself. God bless the USA. Right, next, we're going to recognize some of our veterans, or maybe families of veterans. Do I have a Bob Fenlon out there? Is he out there somewhere? There he is. I knew he'd be here. Bob's going to help us out on this one. He helps us every year. We love to have him. We're going to do a salute to America's finest. If you have served in any capacity in the services of the United States, please stand if you are able when your song is played so that we can recognize all those who are present. If you are a family member, I can't write apparently. If you are a family member or a loved one of those who served, you are more than welcome to represent them as well. The order of the songs will be as follows, and that's what Bob's going to do. He's going to help us out here. First, we have the Army. Army goes rolling along. Navy, Anchors Away. Coast Guard, Semper Paratus. The Marine Corps with the Marines Hymn. And then we'll finish up with the Air Force song, Into the Wild Blue Yonder. Thank you, Bob, for helping us out. We appreciate it.
Senior service. Stand tall. Always faithful. Air Force, on your feet. Guardians of the skies. The latter version was notably recorded by Kate Smith, becoming her signature song.
God bless America. Thank you and have a great night.
I will have a great night.